Hello everyone, Whitebox here with another game of Spirit Island. So now I am more than halfway through my exploration of nature incarnate spirits as I move into my next one, Hearth-Vigil. So let's meet this spirit. Hearth-Vigil is a spirit of neither fire nor cooking. It is a watcher and guardian, a protector who keeps vigil over common hearths. In the dry season, it smothers rogue blazes. In the wet season, it fortifies the hearth of older Dahan suffering from wheeze-lung. In all seasons, it intensifies the hearth's power of wellness and community strength. It's friendly to speak to, though most grown Dahan don't usually distract it without cause. Historically, its aid was first sought during the bloody conflicts of the servant cults due to the threat of mass poisonings. As those agreements affected its nature, it became able to offer more than simple vigilance. So the playstyle here, or the setup rather, is that I'm going to put 3 presents on my starting board, one in the highest numbered land with Dahan, which is going to be land 6 here on board F, and 2 in the lowest numbered land with at least 2 Dahan, which will be land 1. Then I get to add 1 Dahan in each of those lands, which are considered survivors of, additional survivors of the invaders' diseases, because obviously the invaders have been here for some time if they've got a city and a town. Actually 2 towns, because again, I'm playing against Prussia 3. So that is my setup. So playstyle here. The spirit is very good at protecting Dahan and its lands, not so great at stopping blight. In keeping with its nature, largely brings Dahan to its presence or vice versa. Getting Dahan elsewhere may require a bit of forethought with Keep Watch for new incursions, which I'm guessing is a power card. I'm going to take a look at those in a second. Very reactive with reliable ways to deal with invaders as they ravage and build, but has trouble handling established cities that aren't ravaging, because you can't rely on your Dahan to counterattack for you. So complexity here is moderate. I think it's going to be the last moderate spirit that I take a look at before I get into the highs and very high. It's pretty balanced, it looks like. You've got a mix of offense, defense, utility, a little bit of control and fear as well. So it's a standard. It's add presence on each growth option, so that's cool. A 1/1/1 spirit. So add on reclaim. Okay, I didn't expect that. The spirit, definitely a good boy. That's one thing I'm excited about for this one. And let's take a look at its rules. So special rules here, we've got rooted in the community. Blight added in your lands does not destroy your presence if Dahan are present. Ravage actions destroy Dahan before added blight destroys present and cascades. So as long as one Dahan survives, then my presence will stay there. So that's cool. And then fortify heart and hearth. Dahan have +4 health each while in your lands. Event and blight card actions don't damage, destroy, or replace Dahan in your lands. That's pretty good. And then Loyal Guardian. When all Dahan leave one of your lands, your presence may move with those Dahan. Each Dahan can bring any number of your presence. So that's similar to Thunderspeaker. Innate powers here, I've got Warn of Impending Conflict. It's fast. Uses Sun and Earth. So in one of my lands, 1 Dahan deals damage before invaders during ravages. And then each level more Dahan deal damage before the invaders during ravages. So again, very reactive. They're going to be relying on counterattacks to do a lot of their damage. And then Keep Watch for new incursions. You can gather up to 2 Dahan fast from your lands only. So gather, well, that's interesting. So gather from a sacred site with Dahan. That's cool. And you have to gather from your lands. Okay, cool. That's interesting. Once this turn, after invaders are added or moved into target land, 1 damage per Dahan in target land to those added or moved invaders only, and then you can repeat that power. Interesting. Okay. Alright, so this one, on paper, seems really strong. I think Dahan-focused strategies based around defense and counterattacks are really good in Spirit Island. So this spirit's kind of all about that. They don't really have defense, though, but just the extra health for the Dahan could be good. And possibly one of their cards will give defense. So let's take a look at those. So first up here, I've got Call to Vigilance. Hopefully you can see that all right. Same elements as Thunderspeaker, which makes sense. You've got sun, air, and an animal. They've also got a splash of earth, which I think makes sense. Earth is kind of based around constancy and protection, so that fits Hearth-Vigil pretty well, rather than the fire that you get with Thunderspeaker. So in this case, you have 2 fear if invaders are present. For each Dahan in origin land, you can push up to 1 explorer or town. Pretty good. Again, range from a presence with Dahan. Coordinated raid, same targeting. And 1 damage if Dahan are present, then an additional damage. So that's cool. Favors of Story and Season. Target spirit may gather up to 3 Dahan into one of their lands. I'm playing true solo, so I'll be able to target myself with this. And if they have at least 3 Dahan amongst their lands, they gain 1 energy and may reclaim 1 power card instead of discarding it at the end of the turn. That's going to be really good in true solo, I think. Okay. And then Surrounded by the Dahan. Only card with Moon. So 2 fear if invaders are present. 1 fear if Dahan outnumber towns and cities, and isolate target land. Alright, interesting. So let me set up my board, and then I'll be good to get started. And I'm going to play a standard game using the spirit as is. I'm not just going to try to high roll for Vigor of the Breaking Dawn. Am I missing? Although, no, that doesn't make sense. It should be like this then, right? Yeah, I wasn't missing anything. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. So it's just a bonus part of their track that they get that gather 1 Dahan into one of their lands. That's the high complexity part of the spirit. It's just figuring out that you don't cover every space. Okay. So let me finish or flip my initial explore. I've got jungles, which will be good actually. Don't have to worry about that too much. Really, I can just let them both go, as long as I put a presence in here into F5. Alright, cool. It'd be nice if I can get some Dahan into F2 though, so I can take out that city, since it's going to be ravaging next turn, so I'll see if I can do that. So let's see, so add a presence to a lane with Dahan, or just add a presence. Probably just want to add a presence so I can get it into F2, because I don't really have a way to move Dahan into those lands natively. So that's going to be my way to get in here, is to move my presence in there and then gather Dahan, I think. I don't know that I need to card plays this turn. Oh, also, does this spirit start with energy? It does. It starts with 1 energy. I thought there was something unique about it. I should have read that part. So they start with 1 energy. Okay, cool. So I think I'm going to go with growth 3, so I can add a presence here into F2. I guess I can gather Dahan with keep watch for new incursions as well. So that's one way that I can get a bunch of Dahan in there. So maybe I go with the power card. No, I think I'm... Let's see, from my lands only. My starting cards do cost energy, so it's probably helpful to get some stuff up. Let's see. So here they're going to do 4 damage. If I get my presence and Dahan in there, each Dahan will have 6 health, so I don't have to worry about the Dahan dying from that. Again, that seems really strong. So we'll see how that works out throughout the game. So I think I will do that. I think is good. I'm going to go top track. I might not play anything this turn. I don't know. Maybe just something so I can get some... yeah, let's do this. I'll do this card. I think that'll be fine. So I get 3 energy. There we go. Alright, then with my presence phase, I can gather 1 Dahan into one of my lands. So I'll gather this Dahan. Actually, I'll just gather that one, so I can make sure they're all stacked up in my lands. Yeah, that should be good. Then I will get another energy from top track. I'm going to play 1 card, which is free, Surrounded by that Han. And I'm good for fast power. So first fast power I'm going to do is keep watch for new incursions. I'm going to target F2. gather these two Dahan in there. And I think I'll move one along with it to get that sacred site. But I'll leave the other one behind so I can keep my presence kind of spread a little bit. Alright, so that's that. Yeah, so that's what I get. Then I've got surrounded by the Dahan, so 2 fear if invaders are present. I'm going to target F2. And then 1 fear if Dahan outnumber towns and cities, which they do. And then I also isolate target land. It's a lot of stuff in that power. I'm up to 3 fear already. Now I'm going to go to the invader phase. I'll flip an event just for timing. No fear card yet, so they're going to build. Alright, explore mountains. That's alright. I'll have to figure something out about F4 for sure, though. Yeah, that would possibly be an issue. Try to do a coordinated raid there. We'll see what happens. Okay. So that's that. Now I go to slow powers. I had none. So I'm going to discard my card and go back to growth. I think I'm going to do growth 2 this time. This time we gain my power card first. Alright, so nothing that I really want, nothing that works with Dahan. I've got Rouse the Trees and Stones. It's alright. It's mostly off element, so it's not great, but that's okay. I've got Razor Sharp Undergrowth, so destroy its defense, targets lands. Yeah, it's fine. Flesh Rot Fever. And Absorb Corruption. Absorb Corruption's kind of expensive, but do I have any plant cards? I do. So, I mean, I'm going to be letting some Blight go through, just because my defense works a little bit differently. So I think I will take Absorb Corruption, so I can try to get some of it removed. Okay, cool. So that's that. Let's go with my presence. I'm going to go from bottom this time, go into F5. I get 1 energy. Can gather 1 Dahan into one of my lands. Let's just get this guy in here. I'll go along with the sacred site as well. Got 2 card plays this time. I don't have any slow push or anything. I only need the 1 there. Let's do Call of Vigilance and Favors of Story and Season. I've got a plan for this. So, a little expensive, but I think this will let me deal with a bunch of lands this turn. So that's my play. For fast powers, first I'm going to use Favors of Story and Season. Since I'm in true solo, I can target myself, which is going to be fantastic. So I can gather up to 3 Dahan into one of my lands. I only need the 2 there, and I only need the 2 there. So I'm going to gather 2 in there. And then if I have at least 3 Dahan among their lands, which I obviously do, I gain 1 energy and can reclaim 1 power card, which is fantastic. Oh, reclaim instead of discarding at the end of the turn. Okay, that's still fantastic, so I'll keep that. Then I've got Keep Watch for New Incursions. I'm going to target this land here, so gather 2 of those Dahan into F4. And then I do have Warn of Impending Conflict, so on one of my lands, one Dahan deals damage before the invaders during Ravage, so that'll let me stop one of the Blight from coming here. So I'm going to do... Actually, do I have the second level? Yeah, I do have the second level. So I can have 2 Dahan do their damage before invaders during Ravages, so I'm going to go ahead and target F2 with that. It's no longer isolated. So I'm going to target F2 with that. So I won't stop both Blight, but that's okay. The highest level of this is crazy. And all Dahan and all of your lands deal damage before invaders during Ravages. That is awesome. If I can get a way to make more Dahan this game, that will be incredible. Okay, so that's my turn. Let's go to the event. Did I hit? I didn't hit that. No. Okay. So I've got map makers. Actually, I'm in stage 3. So I've got increasing aggression. Invaders do +1 damage per land when ravaging. That's fine. Prey on the heedless. In each land with beasts, 1 damage per beast. Okay. Coming of age on each board. Perfect. On each board, add 1 Dahan to a land with Dahan and no Badlands, Beasts, Disease, or Wilds. So let's get it into F4. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. So already adding Dahan, that's fantastic. No fear card just yet. I'm going to have one after this turn. Let's get to the Ravage. So in F2, I've got 2 Dahan are going to fight before the invaders, so they will kill the town and the explorer for 2 fear. Here, they are going to Ravage, so they do 3 damage. 4 damage, actually. My Dahan have 6 health, so they don't die. And then they're going to fight back and kill the explorer in the town. And because there are Dahan there, my presence is not destroyed, so I'm good. Alright, so that was the Ravage. Cleared out 2 lands already. Build in mountains. Explore sands and mountains. So that's actually really good. Just getting the mountains back to back, because I'm going to get those cleared out in the Ravage next turn so they won't build, and then I won't have to worry about mountains. Just makes it much, much easier to deal with these sands that are coming up. So I'm okay with that. Alright, so that was that. Now I go to slow powers. I just have the one. I have Call of Vigilance. So I'm going to target this land here. 1 range from a land with Dahan and presence. 2 fear if invaders are present, which they are. So that gives me a 2nd fear card for next turn. And for each Dahan in the origin land, well, it's still fine. So that's this land here. Okay, so I messed up. So I didn't need to put all those Dahan in that land. Actually, if I'd read that correctly, I probably would have put that other Dahan somewhere else, but it's too late for me to change that now. So it's still fine. I will push 2 of these out. And I could just stack up in F8. That's a little dangerous. Don't want them to get that much damage. So let's go into F2 instead. Alright. So yeah, that's fine. So that's good. I can discard cards. Get to reclaim one of these. I think I want to reclaim Call to Vigilance. It's really, really good. It'll let me deal with F1, so I won't have to worry about that. So yeah, let's reclaim Call to Vigilance. Discard Favors of Story and Season. I think I'm going to work my way to 3 card plays. It'll take a little while to get there, but that's alright. So discarding cards, going back to growth. I'm going to go with, let's see, gain a power card. Not running too low on energy, so I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm going to gain a power card. I don't need to absorb corruption yet, so I can skip that. But it'll let me put off the reclaim if I gain a power card now, I think. Well, then on the reclaim, I would have 3 cards. I don't know. It's I've got expensive cards here, so it might make sense to get the extra energy. Where do I want my presence? I guess that's the first thing that I can try to decide, whether it's a lane with Dahan or just a lane without. I think I want to get them into F8. But I can do that with Keep Watch for new incursions. Don't have a way to get to the higher level so that they just destroy the built city. But the counterattack there will be very, very useful. So, I can do 2 damage somewhere. Okay. Yeah, I've got lots of options here. So I'm not going to do Absorb Corruption. I don't need that just yet. Although I'm going to add 1 blight this turn. So I'll probably add another next turn in F8. So maybe it does make sense to clear one of those blight out just so I can preemptively avoid getting my blighted island card. Yeah, I'll do that, but let's gain a power card first. I think that'll be fine. Could go major, but I think I'll do probably 1 more minor before I start going into majors. And I hit. I got Call of the Dahan Ways, which is fabulous. I don't have a moon card in hand, so I can't threshold that just yet, but that's okay. Devouring Ants is on element. It's very good. Very good card, actually. And then Call the Ferocity is also pretty good. Also mostly on element. Call the Halta's Hand, also really good. This was a really fantastic draw, honestly. Because that can remove Blight, push Dahan, all that stuff. I'm going to go Call the Dahan Ways, though. I said in the beginning, if I get more Dahan, then I'm going to be in good shape, so may as well. So let's do that. Let's see, I've got a stage 2 coming up. I'm going to go from bottom so I can get that 3rd card play on the reclaim. Or even possibly next turn, and then I can push off the reclaim 1 more turn. So yeah, let's do this. Have to add this to a lane with Dahan. Let's go here. Yeah, that'll be good. And I think I can probably actually avoid a blight next turn. This turn I am probably going to take one unless I get pretty good warn of impending conflict. I guess I only need to play 2 sun cards for that. So I do want to do, let's get my 1 energy. I want to do Call to Vigilance. And if I go Coordinated Raid, then I can stop a Blight from getting added this turn, which is great. Hits good elements. I don't get to use Call of the Dahan Ways, but next turn, if I get a Moon card, I'll be able to threshold it, so it makes it a little better. So let's go with this. Pay for those cards. And now I can go. So fast powers here. First I'm going to do Warn of Impending Conflict in land F6. So I have the 2nd level, so 2 Dahan will deal damage before the invaders, wiping out that land, which is great. Then I've got Keep Watch for new incursions. So I'm going to gather up to 2 Dahan from my lands only. So I'm going to do from here. So I don't need all of those guys in that land. Alright, and those are my fast powers. So let's go to an event. Remnants of a Spirit's Heart. A group of Dahan find a stony ridge with lingering blessings from an ancient mountain spirit. You may leave it strength with Dahan. Dahan have plus 10 health this turn. In lands with Dahan, invaders have plus 1 health this turn, which I don't love. Or with Patient Focus, craft a Great Warding. 4 energy per player, aided by Mountain or Earth, which I do have. Defend from Spirits is 4 lower per land this turn, and during one future Spirit phase, players may jointly pay to grant Defend 4 in all lands that turn. I like that option more. I want to be able to clear this out, so I don't love that the invaders might get more health. Usually I don't craft a Great Warding, but I think I will. Right now I've got 1 Earth. I'm going to discard Absorb Corruption to pay 2, and then I'll pay 1 energy to pay that down. So I might have to reclaim next turn, but that's okay. So I've got that. The reminder card is somewhere around here. I'm just going to keep the event instead, so that'll be fine. Hunting parties for each land with beasts and cities. Nope. And 1,000 small struggles on each board with 4 or more towns and cities and 4 or fewer Dahan. Nope, doesn't apply. So that's fine, and I will have a Great Warding for a future turn where I can defend 4 to all lands, which is going to be fantastic. Potentially. Alright, 2 fear cards. Tire level 1 still. Cities deal -1 damage during Ravage, and invaders do not heal damage at the end of this turn. Okay, probably won't matter. Panicked by Wild Beasts. Each player adds 1 strife in a land with or adjacent to beasts. Cool. Nope, not a beast. Alright, pretty good, pretty good. Let's go to the Ravage. Invaders are not doing any extra damage this turn, so this land, they do 1. This guy will die in the counterattack. Here, my Dahan are fighting first, thanks to Warren of Impending Conflict, so they will destroy 2 explorers and the town, and that's that. Got everything cleared out. Build, no builds in mountains. They will build in sands, which is okay. And then explore wetlands. Let's do my escalation town first. I'm going to throw that into a jungle for sure. And then get my wetlands up. Okay, not bad. Now I go to slow powers. So first I'm going to do Call to Vigilance, so targeting this land from one of these. 2 fear if invaders are present, and then for each Dahan in origin land, I can push up to 1 explorer or town. So let's push these guys, and I'm going to stack up an F2. A little dangerous, but I got that Defend 4 in my back pocket. So Defend 4 between that and Warn of Impending Conflict. I think I'm okay with stacking stuff up there. We'll see how that works out for me. And then I've got Coordinated Raid. So 1 damage, and if Dahan are present, I can do an additional damage. Fortunately, I don't really have a great place for this, so I'm just going to target F7, wipe out that Explorer. So don't have to worry about that. Okay, that's that. So let me discard cards and go back to growth. I was going to try to push off the Reclaim, but I think I'm okay with it since I get to add a presence on Reclaim. 0 range, so let's go bottom track. I'm only going to have 2 energy this turn. Oof, that's actually pretty rough. But I can make it work. Okay. So actually, I'll need my 0 cost card. That gives me the threshold of Call of the Dahan Ways, though, and then I can do one of my other 1 costs. So yeah, that's not a problem, I don't think. So I'll go from bottom. I'll just go up into F8. Get a Sacred Site there. Yep, that's good. This guy healed. Okay, so I reclaim as well. I get 1 energy. And I want to do my Call of the Dahan Ways turn, so let's go with Surrounded by the Dahan, Call of the Dahan Ways. and one of my 1-cost cards. I think Favors of Story and Season is probably the way to go. So let's go with that. Awesome. Okay, cool. So I think I'm all set. Let me go into my fast powers. First up here, let's get some Dahan into this land. So gather up to 2 Dahan from my lands only, so that'll be these guys. I'm going to pull my presence along with it. A good chance that this jungle comes up next turn. I could possibly let it go, but I think I'll be able to get a bunch of guys in there next turn anyway. I do have the 2nd level of Keep Watch for new incursions, actually, so to those added or removed. So I can't kill the city that gets added. I'll probably wait for an Explorer then. Okay, that's fine. I think it works out okay anyway. Then I will do... so this is my target land with Keep Watch for new incursions. I've got the 2nd level, so once this turn after invaders are added or moved into target land, I can do 1 damage per Dahan in target land to those added or moved invaders only. Potentially an event will give me an extra Dahan there to kill the city. We'll see. Alright, then I've got Warn of Impending Conflict. So I've got 2 suns, so I can only do 1. So I can do this land here. 1 Dahan deals damage before invaders during ravages. I was hoping for 2, but didn't get it. That should be fine. Maybe it'll be worth using my defense then, so I can stop that blight from getting added. Choose a land when invaders ravage there. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna burn my defend 4 in all lands just to keep from getting a blight added this turn. I think that's worthwhile. So this land's defended 4. All lands are actually. Then I'm going to use Favors of Story and Season, so target spirit may gather up to 3 Dahan into one of their lands. Let's go this, this, and I think that's fine. Let's see, that'll be enough damage. Okay. I get 1 energy. And I get to reclaim 1 power card at the end of this turn instead of discarding it, which is great. Alright, so that's my fast powers. And surrounded by that Han, so 2 fear if invaders are present. Let's do this land. And an additional fear if Dahan outnumber towns and cities, which they do. And then isolate target land. So actually I'm going to do it up here, so I can isolate that land. Well, it doesn't really matter. Okay, I'll do it here. May as well. 1 fear card, or event first, sorry. So my event is Invested Aristocracy. After the Ravage step on each board, if no blight was added to this board, add 1 town to the highest numbered land with no invaders. Probably gonna happen. Prey on the Heedless in each land with beasts, 1 damage per beast. Okay, and Coming of Age on each board, add 1 Dahan to a land with 2 or more Dahan. That is absolutely perfect. It's just what I was counting on. So Invested Aristocracy is going to hurt, but Coming of Age works out. Chef's kiss. Alright, Fear card, Terror level 1. On each board, remove 1 Explorer from a land matching a Ravage card. Okay. Well, that's just this one. That's fine. Alright, Sense of Dread. Now I go into the Ravage, my mountains are empty, land F1 is empty, so it's only going to be F8. They're doing 3 damage. I'm defending 4, thanks to crafting a Great Warding. My Dahan will then fight back and wipe out that land of invaders, doing 3 fear and pushing me into Terror level 2. Now, if I can somehow get those 4 towns that are left destroyed, then I win. So we'll see if that happens. Cool. So that was the Ravage. Next we get to build. They're going to build a city here. And then, thanks to Keep Watch for new incursions, once this turn after invaders are added or moved into target land, 1 damage per Dahan, which is 3. So I can just destroy that city. So it's like the invaders spent all this time, all these years building this new city, only to immediately see it burn to the ground. So yeah, that's quite good. Then explore into mountains, which is fine. I do have this. I can keep adjacency away from F6, so I don't have to worry about it. It will add a city to city to F4 next turn, which is probably okay. I think I'll be able to deal with that. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. So let's do that there. That way I don't have any adjacency over to F6. I just have to add 1 explorer into F4. Now after the... I would have had to do invested aristocracy anyway. So after the Ravage, I would have added a town up there. So yeah, I do get adjacency to F6 anyway, which means I'll just throw this town into F5. Yeah. Okay, that's all right, I think. Alright, interesting question here about where I use Call of the Han Ways. Do I want to use it here in F3 to get rid of that town, which would be nice? Although I'll probably be able to warn the Dahan there of impending danger and have them fight back first. So I don't think that I really need to worry about that land. Instead, I could use it on F6, stop that build, which I think will be a little bit better. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to replace this Explorer with a Dahan. So didn't even need the threshold part of it. And that's my only soul power. So discard cards. I get to get one of them back, which is going to be Favors of Story and Season. Really, really good that I can target myself with that in true solo. Reset that and go back to growth. I am going to add a presence and gain 3 energy. I am short on energy. Do I want to keep going from bottom? I think I do, because that's going to make it easier to get more suns for Warn of Impending Conflict. And that's going to be important. So let's go for that. The extra animal there is nice as well. I'm going to go into F3. I get 1 energy for presence. I can gather 1 Dahan into one of my lands, which I will do. And yeah, I'm ready to do more stuff. So let's see what happens here. So I think I can afford to do Absorb Corruption and Favors of Story and Season. And probably either Coordinated Raid or Call to Vigilance. I think Call to Vigilance is probably better, because that's going to let me get more fear, let me take care of the town that gets added there, which Coordinated Raid would do as well. It's a little more flexible though, so I am going to do that. It's a bit of an expensive turn, but I think that's okay. So I have just enough elements to get the second level of Keep Watch for new incursions, which is going to be great. I've got Warn of Impending Conflict. I've actually got the third level, so all the Han deal their damage during Ravage before the invaders. That's awesome. So yeah, let's go into my fast powers. So first, I have Favors of Story and Season. I may gather up to 3 Dahan into one of my lands. I've got a lot of options here. Let's go. Let's get these 3 guys just stacked into this land. There is I kind of have to guess about where the invaders are going to be next turn. So, yeah, let's do that. Because I could be Sands, which wouldn't be awful, but I need to prep for that a little bit. So that was Favors of Story and Season. I also get 1 energy. And at the end of the turn, I'm going to get to reclaim 1 card instead of discarding it, which, again, fantastic. If I can get Gift of Constancy, that would really complete the the spirit in some senses. Alright, I've also got Keep Watch for new incursions, which I will do here in F4. So, Stage 2 card coming up could be Jungle, Sands, or Coastal. So the odds are 2 and 3 that I'm going to get F2 coming up. So the more Dahan I have here, the more stuff I can push out of F2. So yeah, let's do that. I'm just gonna keep stacking up. Maybe the wrong choice, but I'm going with it. We'll see what happens. Cool. So that's fine. Warn of Impending Conflict is going into F3, so 3 of those Dahan are going to attack, or all Dahan in that land, which is 3, are going to deal their damage before invaders during Ravage. And once this turn, after invaders are added into this land, I do 1 damage per Dahan in target land to those added or moved invaders. Just once this turn, so if I can push everything into there, that'll be quite cool, actually. So I might let them build that town and then just push all of F2 into F4, and then yeah, that's a slick combo. I'm seeing the potential with the spirit already. Okay, yeah, that'll be my play, I think. So that's that. Let's go with events. Stage 2. So no bravery without numbers. Invaders do not ravage in lands unless there are more invaders than the current terror level, which is 2. So they won't ravage here. It's a little unfortunate, actually. Prey on the Heedless in each land with beasts, 1 damage per beast. Leave the hostile land in each land. Push 1 Dahan per beast or badlands, which there are none. So just stops a counterattack. Oh well. And then I've got Terror level 2 now. Each player removes 1 explorer or town from an inland land. Great. I'll get rid of that guy. Maybe get rid of F5 instead, but I think that's okay. Alright, so Ravage. They're skipping the Ravage here because there are not more invaders there than the current terror level, which ruins my counterattack, but c'est la vie. Build in mountains. So they will build a town over here, and I'm not going to use Keep Watch for new incursions there yet. That will come in a push a little bit later. Then we've got Explore into Sand, so they didn't get that jungle, but I'm still going to be pushing that jungle, because it's going to come up next turn. Okay, yeah, and Escalation as well, which I don't really have a great place for, so I'm just going to put it into F7. Okay. So that's that. Now we go to slow powers. I'm going to use Call the Vigilance here on F2. So 2 fear if invaders are present, which they are. And then for each Dahan in Origin Land, which is this one, I can push up to 1 explorer or town. So I'm going to push, let's see, how many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to push those 3 towns in here. And then I have Keep Watch for new incursions. So once this turn, after invaders are added or moved into target land, 1 damage per Dahan in target land to those added or moved invaders. So these 3 towns will all die, be destroyed, and get me a second fear card. And I'm 8 fear away from victory because there are no cities on the board. And they're not going to build any this turn, so I'm in good shape so far. I also have Absorb Corruption, so I'm going to pay an energy to remove this blight. I can also gather one, but I'm not going to. So, yeah, this jungle might not come up. So discard cards. I get to keep one, which will probably be Favors of Story and Season. No, because I'm going to be reclaiming next turn anyway. So I think probably Call to Vigilance. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to keep Call to Vigilance. I can do a lot with that big F4 lands thanks to that card. I've got 2 Terror level fear cards. I get 2 fear from that. Okay, I'm in pretty good shape. So let's go ahead and do, I'm going to gain a power card. I will have not much energy. I'll have 3, which I need to pay for my cards. So let's go with, if I'm definitely low on energy. If I go top track, I'll have 3, which will be just enough. I think it's okay. I'm going to do it. I'm going to gain a minor. I need a 0 cost card to be able to play it. And I only have 1. I have Twilight Fog Brings Madness. So I think it's a good card anyway. I'm going to go with that as my 0 cost card. I'm going to go from top. Go over here. I get 2 energy, which will immediately go towards paying Call to Vigilance. I'm very poor now. So it's an issue for sure, but I've got a good set of cards. So I'm going to do quite a bit this turn, I think. All right. So I needed to make sure, yeah, I'm pretty solid on that. Okay, cool. So let's go. So first, I'm going to use fast powers. I'm going to use Warn of Impending Conflict here on F4. So 2 of my Dahan will deal their damage before the invaders do, which is great. Then I'm going to keep watch for new incursions somewhere. Probably in F8. So let's pull 2 of those guys over to F8, along with 2 of my presents. And I'm keeping watch for new incursions here, which will let me kill destroy the town that gets added. I don't have the repeat part yet. Okay, so that's that. And then my power cards are all slow, so that's fine. Let's go into an event. Provincial Seat. On each board, choose a land with a city. Build there. No cities, so that's fine. Beast Chase Off Homesteaders. On each board, push up to 2 explorers or 1 town from a land with beasts. Yeah, because I'm going to do 4 damage, so that's good. And then Rally to the Defense of Distant Kin. On each board, gather 1 Dahan into a land with Dahan, and that land defend 1 per Dahan. Sure, just in case something nutty happens, I'll gather 1 here. And then this is defended 5, so it's fine anyway. 2 Fear cards, Terror level 2. Each player removes 1 explorer or town from a lane with beasts, disease, or at least 2 Dahan. So I can stop the build there. It's not bad. but I'd rather do this one because I'm going to deal with that anyway. So. And avoid the Dahan. Invaders do not build in lands where Dahan outnumber towns and cities. Okay. Sure. Alright, so let's go into the Ravage. Right here, Dahan are doing damage first, or at least two of them are. So these two towns will die. This guy will do 1 damage, but it's not enough to really do anything, so Dahan will kind of surround him and beat him up after that. Those are my Ravages. Build in Sands. They're not going to build in F8, thanks to that Fear card. Let's see if it's jungle or coastal. Got jungle. So I'm going to add the Escalation Town into F8. I'm still keeping watch for new incursions, so now those two Dahan will fight back and kill the Escalation Town, which is awesome. But then they will explore into jungle. Got wayward explorers here. Leaping into the towns. F5's an issue, but I'll figure something out with that. Okay, cool. Then I've got my slow powers, which is all of my actual power cards. So first up, let's do Twilight Fog brings Madness. So I can add a Strife somewhere. If I add it into F1, then I don't have to worry about that land, which sounds great to me. Leave it alone. Coordinated Raid. 1 damage, 1 extra damage if Dahan are present. Unfortunately, no Dahan present here. So let's go with so I'm going to go Call to Vigilance targeting this land, so 2 fear if invaders are present, which they are. For each Dahan in the origin land, which is 5. I can push up to 1 explorer or town, so I'll push both of these guys back into my heavily built up land. And now I'll go ahead and use Coordinated Raid here on this land to do 2 damage and kill that town. So that puts me 2 fear away from victory. So those are my slow powers. And unless there's something weird that's going to add an unexpected city, I should win. Also, there's just the 1 town left, so I could possibly take that out in the fast phase. We'll see. Maybe with stuff here. So I'm going to have to reclaim. That's fine. Don't have a lot of energy, so I'm actually going to go top so I can get the 3 energy unlocked. I'll just add that here. It's fine, I'll add it there. I get 3 energy. I can gather a Dahan into one of my lands. Let's go there. And then let's see if I can either get 2 fear or destroy this last town. So unfortunately I don't know that I have a fast power that does fear. Oh, I do. I have Surrounded by the Dahan. What am I doing? So I win. So I'll do Surrounded by the Dahan. It does not matter what else I play, so I'll just finish it out. So I will do 2 fear here. That pushes me into Terra level 3. And I win, because there are no cities on the board. So that was a Hearth-Vigil game, my first one. It's a very, very strong spirit, it seems. At least against Brandenburg-Prussia, but I feel like the spirit will scale very well into other adversaries. So BP4 was not too challenging. Really, I feel like the overall level for the Nature Incarnate Spirits is a little higher than the average for other expansions. Some of that is just from some of the design decisions that I think are a little bit better. I don't necessarily think any of the spirits that I've played so far are overpowered. I don't think they're on like the level of Spread of Rampant Green, for example, or some of the others, but and they're definitely all very good. I plan to make another tier list soon at some point, and I'll make sure to play enough games with Nature Incarnate Spirits and the new aspects before I do that. But at least so far, it's hard to separate these. I'm feeling like all the nature incarnate spirits are around A tier, like towards the upper echelon. But so far, I don't feel like any of them are S tier. Like again, like Spread of Rampant Green or Stone's Unyielding Defiance. I think they're just a little bit below that, but they are very good. No weak spirits so far. So let me go ahead and score this up, and then I'll give some more closing thoughts before I finish this up. This ended up being a 63-point game, which is very silly for difficulty 7. It shows why some people don't put much stock into the scoring system, and it's just kind of a secondary thing that you can look at. But any spirit that can add Dahan, like what am I thinking? The Time Spirit, Shattered Days of Future Past. I don't know. I'm mixing it up with the X-Men movie. So that spirit, Days of Future Past, Days of Fractured Days. That's the one. Got it eventually. Fractured Days. So Fractured Days, revert this spirit. Any spirit that can add Dahan or does have extra Dahan will break the scoring system to some extent. Playing against France as well breaks the scoring system. So it's not a really serious thing, but it's just something fun to do. It's something I keep track of in my little Spirit Island spreadsheet. So I have a record of my score with all my spirits. It's nice to see it go up over time as I've gotten better at the game. So it's a fun thing to do. Overall, I did like this spirit. He's a good boy, for sure. Hearth-Vigil. It's good to play around with the Han. It's good to do it in a different way as well. And that's really one strength of the Nature Incarnate spirits, is that they've taken standard ways of playing, like offense, defense, and have come up with new ways to do that. In this case, just by giving the Dahan extra health. So you're not necessarily defending the land, you're defending the Dahan, which is very different from how a lot of spirits play. So I really like that. That's a cool design. I think it comes across very well. All of these spirits, I think, have been very thematic, which is something that I like and enjoy. So yeah, it's been fun playing them. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of Hearth-Vigil and maybe all the other Nature Incarnate spirits that I've previewed so far. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.